So it very much seems as though after the Spanish Grand Prix that the drivers' champion this year is going to be wearing papaya overalls. Max Verstappen is now nearly 50 points behind championship leader Oscar Piastri, with Lando Norris' teammate the only real competition at this stage. Things can turn around, of course, but I do think that Max Verstappen losing his cool in the closing stages of the Spanish Grand Prix very much almost all but ended the title hopes of the Dutchman. It's inevitable that Piastri and Norris will at some point be combating each other on track. It's just inevitable. It's going to happen. There's going to be a race where they are close to one another. We haven't really seen that yet. We have seen little shades of, gamesmanship between the two of them. I'm not saying they're doing anything wrong whatsoever, but if you look at the Spanish Grand Prix qualifying, for example, where Lando Norris stuck behind Oscar Piastri while Piastri was finishing his fast lap and Norris was starting his, he was looking to try and get the toe, try and get the slipstream down the main straight. Piastri spotted that immediately and pulled over to the side of the road to prevent his teammate getting an advantage during qualifying. They are not helping each other out in that situation, and nor should they, of course. It's inevitable they're going to have a clash out on track, though. For one reason or another, it's just not really happened yet between the two of them. They've not been that close. The only real close battle I'd say between them, to be honest, has been the Japanese Grand Prix. And, I do think that they handled that very well in terms of the drivers handling it. The team handled it very poorly. I feel like they should have swapped and tried to attack Verstappen, but hey, McLaren are going to win the Constructors' Championship anyway. So from that point of view, I don't think they really mind, to be honest. So what's going to happen? Can they handle this battle? Well, Piastri certainly thinks they'll be mature and respectful to one another. But it's a long, long season to go. 15 rounds remaining out of 24. So let's have a look at what he said here. Full article on the F1Chronicle.com, as always. Championship leader Oscar Piastri thinks he and Lando Norris can handle an intense intra-team battle for the 2025 Drivers' World Championship. With Max Verstappen lurking in P3, McLaren's two drivers are now separated by just 10 points after a third of the calendar has been completed. Just over now, of course, 9 rounds out of 24. So far, the team's papaya rules have permitted them to fight. I think it's great of the team that we're both allowed to fight each other for race wins, Piastri is quoted as saying by Bild newspaper in Barcelona. Opinions up and down the pit lane are split as to whether the cooler but younger and less experienced Piastri or the arguably quicker but more mentally fragile Norris will triumph in the end. Piastri insists the pair are taking it in their stride. We both knew, Lando and I, that we could get into this position this year, and we talked openly about it, said the 24-year-old. We agreed not to do anything unsportsmanlike. That's not how we are wired. It would be bad for both of us and for the team if we were to ruin our long journey together at McLaren because of a World Championship title. We must not cross a fair sporting line, the Australian, managed by Mark Webber, who is believed to have negotiated strict driver equality into Piastri's contract, added. Of course, Mark Webber, like we always say, not bad for a number 2 driver, mate. Lando, Max and I will fight for victory here, Piastri concluded in Barcelona. And they did. Well, I mean, 2 of them did. Verstappen wasn't really in the battle for the lead. He did get into P2 early on, of course. But, look, we'll have to see how things go. Both of them, Piastri and Norris, for me, there's not really been that many signs of dirtiness between them at all, to be honest. There's been some forceful moves from Oscar Piastri on Max Verstappen when he's been trying to overtake him or hold him off. But you need to be forceful with Max Verstappen because, as we've seen, and as we saw in Barcelona, he doesn't really take any prisoners when it comes to this thing. But when it comes to these two, I do believe they're going to be fair and respectful. I'm sure that Andrea Stella and Zach Brown has sat them down, maybe even before the season, but definitely recently, since they have pretty much got the Constructors' Championship sewn up. Just like, look, don't hit each other, be respectful. You can come second and third in a race. We don't want to see that. They want to win every race, of course. But they can come second or third in a race, and that is still a good result for the Constructors' Championship. So from that point of view, from McLaren's POV, it's fine. They want to win everything, obviously, but as long as they're bringing the cars home, picking up the points, bringing home the bacon, as they say, bringing home the Canadian bacon next time out, of course, in 2 weeks' time. Hopefully for them, anyway. So yeah, we'll have to see how it goes, guys. These best intentions can degrade rather quickly, but it is not just about this year. It is also about the remainder of their time at McLaren. They have multi-year deals. I think Piastri signed up to 28, and I think, when's Norris signed up to? 27, 26? They're going to be teammates next year. So even if that one of them does win the championship and McLaren wins the Constructors' Championship comfortably, which is probably going to happen, it's not just about this year. You don't want to go into 26 on a sour note and be at each other's throats. That's the last thing you want. But anyway, guys, your thoughts in the comments below are appreciated as always. Like, share, comment, subscribe as always, guys. And have a fantastic day wherever you're in the world today. And we'll see you very soon for much more content on the world of Formula 1, just like this.